There's a version of you from a few years ago that you kind of miss. Not because your life was much better back then, it actually might have been harder. But that version of you was lighter. Maybe they sang without wondering how you sounded. They'd get obsessed with random things, maybe some game. For me, it was Minecraft. Or drawing, or a random idea. But you did so just because you loved it. There was no reason, there was no goal, and no one to impress. But somewhere along the line, you just got quieter, maybe more careful, and more aware of yourself. And it's easy to tell yourself that it's just part of what growing up is, that you lost that person because you got older. But I don't think that's what happened at all. I think that you didn't lose them, but instead, I think that you buried them deep down. And the good thing is that I think you can still dig them back up. So, what actually changed? I don't think it was your age. I think it was the moment you started keeping score. Because at some point, life hands you a scoreboard. Suddenly, there's a right path and a wrong one. There's being ahead, and there's also being behind. There's also people watching you and having opinions about your life, even though it's not theirs. Because of all of this, you start to worry. You worry about being judged and also worry about being on the wrong path. Most importantly, you worry about disappointing the people around you who expected things from you. And that version of you, the one who sang and danced and got obsessed with things, they never had to think about any of that. Not because they were braver than you, but they just hadn't been handed the scoreboard yet. For me, it happened when I moved out for university, because that's when the responsibilities really start piling up. There's exams, health, and figuring out relationship. But most importantly, there's also a figuring out who I was supposed to be. And the thing that scared me the most during that time was, well, not having enough time. I just never felt like I had enough of it. I was so busy that anything that wasn't productive started feeling like I was wasting. And on top of that, I met a lot of new people who were nothing like me. They are people that I liked, but people I quietly felt couldn't really relate to. And when you feel that different from everyone around you, you start to hide parts of you that made you different in the first place. You stop singing, you stop being weird, and you stop mentioning things that you love. And not all at once, but slowly, quietly, until one day you realize you haven't really felt like yourself in a while. But here's the thing I've been realizing. That version of you isn't gone. They're still in there. You can feel them in small moments. When you laugh so hard you forget to be self-conscious. Or when you're around few people you don't have to perform for. For me, it's when I dance and sing at the top of my lungs and nobody really cares. When I admit that I still love playing video games, like Minecraft, and feel a little bit of that old lightness coming back. That's nostalgia. That's them, still there, coming up for air. You didn't kill that person by growing up. You just learned to keep them quiet and suppress them, because being that open started to feel unsafe. And I don't think you can get that person back by fixing your whole life. I think it's smaller than that. It's about letting yourself do one thing at a time, and one thing you're not tracking or optimizing or turning into a goal. Something you've done as a kid just because it felt good. For me, lately, I've been singing at the top of my lungs for no reason, and I also went back to dance classes as an adult, even though it's been so difficult because of my body, which is different from when I was younger. And it's also playing Minecraft again, not because I'm trying to escape something, but to actually let myself relax. And I'm learning there's a difference between avoiding your life and giving yourself room to breathe inside of it. One drains you, and the other brings you back. Because every time you let yourself do something for no reason other than you loving it, you're not becoming a new person. You're just letting that person you already are come back out. The one you thought you lost, they were never gone. You just have to make a little room for them again.